The current generation of Kia's compact crossover is often regarded as one of the top choices in the segment. It's affordable, practical, well-equipped, and surprisingly luxurious with an impressive range of options to suit various needs. However, what looks great on paper doesn't always align with real-world experience, so don't be surprised that we've uncovered a pretty long list of considerations. Is the new Kia Sportage truly worth it? Here are 8 solid reasons to avoid it. Number 8. Polarizing style. Okay, let's start with something pretty obvious. We can always say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but the current generation Sportage definitely features one of the most polarizing exterior designs around. Kia didn't want to play safe with the previous redesign and rather offered a bold and futuristic SUV with a front end that boasts a massive futuristic grille along with those recognizable boomerang-shaped headlights. For some, this combo is quite appealing, but for many, it's a bit too much, especially if we put things into perspective where it's always uncertain whether such designs will age well or not. Even Kia acknowledged these issues and prepared big changes for the 2026 update, which will bring a new grille design and, more importantly, slightly more conventional headlights. Just by looking at the renderings, it's clear that the new design will attract a broader range of buyers, but will these changes be enough? It's yet to be seen. In the meantime, let's focus on something that's not a matter of personal preference, like the powertrain. Number 7. Mediocre gas engine. The Sportage stands out with a nice powertrain offer. 3 options are there, and while hybrid models seem attractive fuel economy-wise, the gas-only version should be a no-brainer. Affordable, simple, and reliable. That good old 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 puts out around 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. The engine is coupled with an 8-speed automatic transmission, so everything seems adequate for the segment. But the real-world performance is a little bit different. First of all, there's the sluggish acceleration. This Sportage needs 9.3 seconds to hit 60 miles per hour, and while that's probably good enough for a typical Sportage driver, it's hard to neglect that similarly powered rivals, such as the Mazda CX-5 and Toyota RAV4, which also feature naturally aspirated 2.5-liter inline 4s, are more than a full second quicker. Furthermore, although decent, the Sportage with this engine is no champion of fuel efficiency. Front-wheel drive models return around 25 mpg city and 33 mpg highway. For comparison, the notably quicker RAV4 returns 27 mpg in the city and 35 mpg on the open road, while rivals that switch to smaller displacement Turbo 4 units like the Nissan Rogue can return up to 30 and 37 mpg respectively, which is quite a gap for sure. Number 6. Plug-in hybrid is a bit of a letdown. For those not satisfied with the performance of the gas engine, Kia offers 2 hybrid versions, both based on a Turbo 4 engine with significantly more power. And while we have nothing against the standard hybrid, the plug-in hybrid is a bit of a letdown. It puts out 261 horsepower, while the upcoming update will increase the power to 268 horsepower. But still, it needs 7.1 seconds to hit 60. That's anything but bad, but then you check the competition and realize that a slightly more expensive RAV4 plug-in hybrid has over 300 horsepower and needs just 5.6 seconds to hit 60. Furthermore, Toyota's model has better fuel economy, 38 mpg compared to 35 mpg combined in hybrid mode. It's more efficient in the EV mode too, 94 compared to 84 miles per gallon equivalent. Finally, the RAV4's electric-only range goes up to 42 miles, while the best the Sportage can do is 34 miles. Simply, Toyota's plug-in hybrid powertrain is superior in every aspect. Number 5. Ride quality. Another thing about this Sportage that we find a little bit dull is the ride quality. Although Kia made a significant improvement compared to some previous generations, the Sportage is still a little bit behind the competition. First of all, there's the comfort side, which is good but not as good as some rivals, which still deal with rough pavement better. At the same time, it's not like it makes up with an extra dose of athleticism. It's way behind the most prominent athletes in the segment, like the Mazda CX-5. The chassis needs refinement, while the steering feel is a little bit dull, similar to what you get from, let's say, the Nissan Rogue. To make everything perfectly clear, it's not like the Sportage's ride quality is bad or anything like that. It's actually very good. It's just that the competition is better, whether we talk about the comfort or sporty side of the spectrum. Those models that blend these two things, just like the Sportage, are simply better at doing that thing, and we have the feeling they offer a little bit more for the money, at least when we talk about this aspect of this otherwise very good SUV. Number 4. Infotainment and climate controls. Let's be straight, most buyers care much more about the infotainment and other tech features than how the car corners. And thankfully, Kia did a fantastic job in this aspect, though there are a few things to complain about. Namely, the infotainment system is great, the screen is large, the graphics are crisp, and the response is fast. Even the menu navigation is perfect. So you probably wonder where Kia messed up. Interestingly, it's not about the software. That part is excellent. The problem is in the center stack and the layout of controls, which is too complicated. As some reviewers said, it draws too much attention from the road, and it's super easy to turn down the temperature when you're trying to change the radio station. Still, we guess things get much better once you get used to them, though some owners also complain that this area attracts a lot of fingerprint smudges, and no one likes those. Number 3. Few reliability issues. Kia's been improving the Sportage over the years, and today we're talking about a fairly reliable compact SUV, though it's still behind the Japanese competition in this aspect. While generally reliable, the current generation does have a few potential issues that may make you decide to pick something else. For example, certain models experienced fuel pump failures. Problems with the panoramic sunroof, such as spontaneous shattering, have been common too, while in-car electronics can be problematic as well, particularly the infotainment system, which tends to randomly shut off, and can also affect the digital instrument cluster. Due to software issues, certain drive assist features cannot work properly and compromise the safety of the occupants, like is the case with the adaptive cruise control, which sometimes tends to accelerate unintentionally. Finally, certain parts of the car tend to wear quicker than expected and require more frequent service than normal, like is the case with the brakes. Rotors can be problematic in particular and even lead to occasional steering vibrations, which is not something you'd expect in a relatively new vehicle with low mileage. Number 2. Limited off-road potential. The Sportage is a crossover and, of course, we don't expect much in terms of off-road performance. Modern SUVs are more family haulers, but the Sportage does come in a couple of variants with off-road pretensions. But those models are mostly appearance packages, something that makes the SUV look more rugged. In terms of performance, you don't get all that much. Essentially, there are two off-road focused models, starting from the X-Line, which stands out with unique styling details, but also adds all-terrain tires and higher ground clearance. The X Pro is a little bit tougher, with chunkier all-terrain tires, but both variants are not as capable as they may look. Still, we have to be fair and say that the competition isn't much better either. Other than the Subaru Forester and the Jeep Compass, you'll hardly find a capable off-roader in the class. Moreover, we actually very much like the fact that Kia's all-wheel drive system includes a center-locking diff at a time when most rivals rather rely on torque vectoring and other electronic-based features. Number 1. Price depreciation. With all the drawbacks we've just talked about, the Sportage is still one of the best choices in the segment. It's cheaper, more luxurious, and more practical than most competitors, and it does do the job perfectly for the vast majority of owners. But only if you don't look at it as an investment, because it depreciates way faster than a good number of competitors. It may be because of the brand perception, lack of interest in the used market, or something else. But the fact is that the Kia Sportage loses its value faster than its rivals. If we take a 5-year depreciation as an example, Kia's compact crossover typically keeps 48 to 50% of its original value. The Volkswagen Tiguan, for example, preserves 50 to 54% of its price when new, while the gap gets much bigger when you take the Japanese competition into account. The bestsellers, the Toyota RAV4 and the Honda CR-V, will preserve 60% of their value during the same period, while models like the Subaru Forester and Mazda CX-5 are even better, as the used market data tells us they usually retail between 62 and 63% of their value after 5 years. Even the Ford Escape is notably better, as it averages 55%. What do you think of our list of reasons? Do you agree, or maybe you think we missed something? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.